enormously profitable. Here are some staggering numbers about this company. Annualized average store revenue, almost 36 million, which translates into sales per square foot of almost 6,000 sales per square foot. It is arguably the highest among all retail chain stores. Tiffany is at 3,000 per square foot. You were talking about Lululemon earlier, also another phenomenal company. They became a success in no time. They are 1,700. And just to put things in perspective, to compare Apple to other electronic stores, Best Buy is at about 880 per square foot. And remember, they're achieving these numbers with a very limited assortment of products, very curated, edited assortment of products. These are sales per square foot that are to die for. And they're gaining new customers every day, taking away customers from Windows, from Microsoft. Yes, desktop computing is still almost 90% for Microsoft Windows, but you know, when you talk about switching to other platforms, the switchers from Windows to Apple's, we're talking about 18 million since 2004. And that curve is growing, that trend is growing. So how do they do it? And this is the core, the essence of this presentation. They do it in a very, very simple way. They nail the 6 rights, the 6 rights of retail. You've heard them before over and over again. They have the right product, the right place, the right time, the right price, the right quantity, and the right service. And obviously the right people to deliver that service. I'm going to go over all those rights with you today, but I'm not going to talk about the right price. Guess what? Remember during the luncheon we had, Matthew Shea talked about the new value proposition, which is not necessarily prices, low prices, not necessarily deals. And you know, if you think about Apple, when was the last time they had a discounted product? When was the last time they had markdowns? When was the last time they had promotions? You know what? When you have the right product, when you have the right place, when you have the right time, when you have the right quantity, and you have the right service, you don't have to worry about price. People will pay that price. When you deliver a customer experience that is second to none, that is outstanding experience, then you don't have to worry about price. Yes, price has to be fair. It has to be the right price for the type of product that they sell, but it doesn't have to be the lowest price. In the tablet computing business, there are a lot of products out there that are lower price, and yet Apple feels very comfortable that their iPads are selling like there's no tomorrow, and they'll always have customers interested in their product, despite the fact that they have competitions and they have other companies that are producing lower priced products. How do they do it? This is very important. If you have to remember one thing from this session, remember this one. They really leave nothing to chance. They obsess over every small detail. They sweat the small stuff. And this is from the poster that you see in the background that they published, where they talked about all the many mistakes that they did over the last 10 years when they published it last year. And they talked about all those little details of their merchandising, presentation, and everything that they did in the store, all the mistakes that they made, all those little details that they had to fix in order to become the exceptional company that they are today. Getting the details perfect, even when our stores are big, no detail is too small. Steve Jobs was a perfectionist. He was obsessed with perfection. He had this passion for everything had to be perfect. I don't know if you had a chance to read an article that appeared in the New York Times over the weekend that talked about different things about Apple. It was a very long article, and one of the things that they talked about was what happened when they were ready to launch the iPhone in 2007. Steve Jobs had been testing the phone for a number of weeks, and you know, the prototype before the launch, which was due in 6 weeks. And he had been carrying the phone in his pocket for the entire period. And he called up a meeting with all his executives and all his team, and he started yelling at them. He pulled out the phone from his pocket, and he showed to them how that the glass on the phone was all scratched. And he was very upset about that, and he said, we cannot launch this product. We have to fix the problem with the glass. Customers cannot, yes, he was obsessed with design, but ultimately what he said is that design is a very funny word. Yes, it is something that appeals to us, but ultimately it's about how it works. So it's bad that the iPhone has the glass that is all scratched because it doesn't look good, but ultimately, how am I supposed to be able to read what's on my iPhone if it's all scratched? And so basically, he sent his team out and said, go and fix it, and make sure you do it in 6 weeks. Sure enough, they had to run to China, find a company that could produce a type of glass that would not scratch, and they were able to find it, and of course, ramp up production and everything else, and they did it. He had a passion for perfection. Again, every detail mattered. And again, to stress the importance of how details in retail are so important, you probably remember the company, the brand, Lucky Brand. They had a good time at one point, and they basically lost their appeal, and now they're trying to come back with an in-store experience that is really appealing. And what they're saying is that the road to success in retail is really paying attention to every detail. And what they're trying to do, they're almost transforming their stores into scientific experiments, and they're looking at the merchandising strategy and tactics and the in-store experience and the customer experience, and looking at every single thing that happens in a store. For example, what they decided to do was to bring back tissue to wrap product when the customer buys them. It's a very small detail. However, here is another very big company, very successful, Abercrombie. They have phenomenal stores. Their stores are to die for, particularly for their customers. Their product is beautiful, perfect for the type of customers that they're targeting. Their associates, they know nothing about the product, but they look wonderful. They're one with the store. So they do pretty much everything right, if you think about it. And yet you go there and you shop with them, and then you go and pay for the product. And they put the product inside these beautiful shopping bags that you feel like keeping because they're so beautiful, okay? And what they do, the associates, they fold up in some awkward way the sweater, the pair of jeans, or whatever, they put it in the bag, and then you come home, you take it out, and it's all wrinkled. Yes, I know I'm not the typical Abercrombie customer, but I shop for them for my nieces, I shop for them for other people, and I kind of get upset when I take it out, the out-of-the-box experience, and the product is not done right, it's not folded properly, neatly, and I have to go and press it. So, something so simple, a company like Abercrombie is so popular, so successful, why didn't they think about teaching, training their staff to really do a good job at folding the product and making sure that when I take it out of the shopping bag, I'm still as happy as when I bought it when I was at the store. How do they do it? So how do they manage to be so successful? Emotions. Shopping is an emotional experience. They understand it very clearly, and they make sure that your emotions are engaged when you go shopping. There are customers who are raving about them. They wear their logo on their as a tattoo, and then there are the sales associates. The Apple specialists, also emotions. And we'll spend quite a little bit of time towards the end talking about how they treat their employees and how they manage to create that phenomenal culture that manages to attract some of the best people out there and retain some of the best people out there. So it's all about emotions. Okay, so we've talked about how obsessed they are with the smallest details, how they try to appeal to emotions. Now, let's look at those rights that we talked about earlier, the rights of retail. So they definitely have the right products to dream about. At a time when the markets were flooded with black boxes from Dell, Hewlett-Packard, from all the different manufacturers creating all these very utilitarian computers, black, not much fun, not much excitement in their design, he decided to come up with this very slick design for the product. Silver, beautiful, beautiful to look at. And this was from a Wire magazine from a few years back, where basically they heralded their products, but Apple represents the shiny, happy future of the tech industry. Every product, it had Turner. Rock solid product line. a feast for the senses, for the eyes, tactile, ears, everything, your senses are engaged. It's a product that is to dream about, to die for. Always something new. Even when you have the second generation iPad that is better than the first generation, it's still better than the competition. And then, of course, products that are meant to complement each other. You buy iPod Apple product, you download music from iTunes. They understand the concept of complete solution selling. They understand that I'm not here to sell you a product today, but I'm here to keep you as a customer for life. And I'm going to hook you up with many different applications and products and things that go together for the perfect Apple experience. Packaging as an art form. Out-of-the-box experience, out of this world. Look at the if you bought Apple products before, you know what I'm talking about. You take it home, you bought it at the store, you bought it online, wherever you bought it, you take it home, you open it, the box where the product is contained is to die for. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Everything fits in perfectly. It is a phenomenon. You feel like wanting to keep that because it's so beautiful. As a matter of fact, they patent those boxes, those packages that they're using for their products because they realized that there was a lot of thinking, a lot of work done to create the perfect out-of-the-box experience for the customer. A tactile, engaging experience that reflects the quality of the product inside. Now, compared to this. Now, I don't want to be negative to Sony or to Dell. These are more utilitarian type of packages. But isn't it a different type of experience that you get? Quite different. Yeah, the products might be good, and Sony